So today I want to review the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. This is my first foldable phone and I've been using this device for the last month or so. So I'm super excited to share my thoughts with you about this device. And as you guys can see, we have a change in scenery. I'm actually shooting this intro portion from a hotel room in Florida. I had some time on my hands and was editing my videos and just realized that I deleted this intro portion of the Google Pixel Fold review video. But anyway, let's jump into it, the unboxing. So let's unbox the Pixel Fold. The packaging is neat, simple, and fully biodegradable. Inside, we find the phone laid flat open. We have an USB-C charging cable without the adapter and a manual. I love how the covering paper has markings on the side to indicate the buttons, charging port, and the SIM card slot. And yeah, finally we have the phone in all its glory. Now let's talk about the design. The first thing that stood out to me was just how solid this phone feels. It weighs over 250 grams, so it's definitely not light, but it also doesn't feel bulky or uncomfortable. It instead feels premium, dense, that kind of thing. We have a new gearless hinge design, which is very good and improved from the older Fold. Now, when you shut the phone, it shuts completely flat. There is no gap, unlike some other foldables. And when you open the phone, there is a crease in the middle, but it's actually not that visible. After 30 minutes of usage, your brain kind of tunes it out and then you barely notice it. What I do have a small complaint with is this edge of the phone. It's glossy and looks nice, but it also picks up fingerprints really fast. I personally would have preferred a matte finish for a cleaner look and maybe even better grip. Now, speaking of bulk, this phone is really thin. It is just 5.2 millimeters when unfolded. That's almost as thin as the iPhone Air. Now, this is not the absolute thinnest foldable out there. For example, the Samsung foldable is thinner, but this one is still insanely thin for a device that folds in half. And around the back, we have a new camera layout. There are 5 cameras in total. We have 3 on the rear, we have 1 on the cover display, and then 1 on the inner display. Now, personally, I still prefer Google's classic visor style camera design, which feels more unique to me and also kind of helps the phone lay flat on a table without wobbling. This new design is cleaner but a bit more generic in my opinion. Now, look at this asymmetric front frame. Now, because we have the hinge on one end, that left side is flat and the other end curves pretty good. The curvy design actually helps you hold the phone better because it fits nicely in your palm, but I imagine if you're left-handed, that edge would really press into your palm a bit and wouldn't be comfortable, I think. We also have a SIM card tray in the top, stereo speakers on the top and bottom, which are actually pretty good. We have an on and off button, which also doubles up as a fingerprint reader, and then a volume button. Now, there is something really impressive and understated about this phone. This is the world's first foldable with full IP68 water and dust resistance. Now, this is standard with most usual flagship phones, but Google has managed to make this happen with a hinge, with exposed speaker grills, SIM card tray, all of that. I even tested this by dunking it in water for around 30 minutes and it survived completely fine. Now keep in mind that if you get water into your charging port, you wouldn't be able to charge it until the water dries. You should still be able to use wireless charging though. Overall, great design. It feels futuristic, is comfortable to hold, and feels really premium. Now let's talk about the cameras for the Pixel 10 Fold, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. The new Fold has a very similar camera setup compared to last year's 9 Pro Fold. The primary camera on the Fold has a triple lens setup. We have a 48 megapixel primary camera, a 10.8 megapixel telephoto with 5x optical zoom, and a 10.5 megapixel ultra wide camera. And we also have two 10 megapixel selfie cameras on the front and on the inside. I felt that the main camera does shoot good photos across a wide range of conditions. The night mode is very good. I believe Google's software allows it to take really spectacular night photography. The ultra-wide cameras and the 5x optical zoom, they were definitely nice. Another cool feature for the Fold and actually most other foldables is that you can take a selfie with your main rear view camera and see a preview of that on your front screen. Overall,
The pictures and videos are pretty good, but they are not flagship level quality for a $2,000 phone. If your top priority is to take the best smartphone pictures, then maybe you should get the standard non-foldable Pixel 10, which has better camera hardware, or any of the newer iPhones, which has a more consistent camera performance overall.
The battery life too on the Pixel Fold has been really solid. We have a 5000 milliampere battery in this new Pixel Fold, which is up from the 4600 capacity battery we had in the last year's Fold. Plus, we have a fast charging feature where you can charge up to 50% battery in just 30 minutes. I've been consistently getting 6 to 7 hours of screen on time across both the displays, and the charge usually lasts for a full day or a bit more than a day. Google has finally introduced Pixel Snap, which is the MagSafe equivalent in the Android world. So now we have Qi 2 wireless charging, and the phone can also support other magnetic accessories. Now, very interestingly, while Pixel Snap did hold the phone firmly when folded, when the phone is unfolded, it kept falling off due to the uneven weight distribution. This could be because I'm using a third party phone holder and the magnets are not strong enough, but just something to consider if you plan to do the same. All right, so apart from the design, let's talk about what really sets the Pixel 10 Pro Fold apart, which is the software and the AI. Google has gone all in on on-device AI with the new TensorFlow chip, and that really shows. Most of what used to run on the cloud now happens locally, which means that it's faster, more private, and also really surprisingly smart. Now let's start with the software features. I think my favorite feature is this thing called Camera Coach. As you're framing a shot, it gives you gentle hints like, try moving closer or watch your lighting or switch to portrait mode. It's very helpful for casual users who just want good photos without having to go through all the settings and stuff. My second favorite feature is conversational editing, and this feels really futuristic. You can essentially talk to your phone while editing a photo and say, hey, remove people in the background, and it just does it. Or you say, brighten the face and make the sky pop. It's like having a mini Photoshop that listens to you and essentially understands your language to make changes in photos. No complicated Photoshop or editing tools required. You essentially speak to your phone and it listens to you and makes the changes. And the inner display really feels like a true multitasking canvas. You can run two apps side by side, even drag files or photos across them. Like for example, you are able to drag a picture from your Photos app straight into your Gmail, and that feels really nice. Now, another feature which I felt is not super useful right now and might need a bit more time to really mature is Magic Queue. Think of the Magic Queue like a personal assistant that understands context and is always watching what you're doing and can surface at any time to help you with what you're doing. So, for example, if you're texting a friend about meeting up, it can automatically suggest directions or calendar slots or even the weather at that location. And you don't have to ask, it just shows up where it feels that it makes sense for it to show up. For right now, maybe it's not there yet, but I could see this evolving in the next few years to be a more useful assistant for your phone. I've had absolutely no issues with performance on the Pixel Fold. Now, on paper, the Tensor G5 chip that we have on device is not as powerful as the latest Snapdragon Elite 5 or the iPhone A19 Pro chips. But in real world usage, this absolutely does not matter. I never once had to wait on this phone for multitasking or for gaming, all of that. So, unless you are someone who just absolutely wants the latest and latest chip, or you are obsessed with benchmarks, I think performance on this phone is absolutely not an issue. It's really fast and responsive. The phone runs the latest Android 16 out of the box, and Google does promise us up to 7 years of software and security updates. Now, whether you will actually use a phone for 7 years in this day and age is up for debate just because our tech moves so fast. But at least as a customer, it's very reassuring to know that the phone will definitely stay up to date and fresh for most of its usable lifespan. The Pixel Fold starts at $1,800 for the base variant with 256 GB. We have a 512 GB variant at $1,919, which is a very interesting number. And finally, we have the top of the line 1 TB variant at $2,150. And interestingly, the 1 TB variant only comes in this moonstone color. The Jade option is limited to 512 GB storage. The good news is that all the variants come with 16 GB of RAM, so it's not like you're forced into higher storage options just for more performance. So, final thoughts. this is absolutely not a phone for everyone. There is a very small section of the population to whom I can genuinely recommend this phone to. If you're somebody who do not mind dropping $2,000 on a phone, and if you're someone who either multitasks or games a lot, and if you're someone who travels a lot or is mostly on the go and do not want to carry a tablet and a phone at the same time, then this would be a phone for you. Now, if you do plan to buy a Pixel Fold, I would recommend to maybe wait for a while. Google is known for offering discounts on its mobile phones, and there might be a discount for Black Friday.